Welcome back to the podcast. Today we're diving into something I've been curious about. How do you measure if an AI tool like Microsoft's Copilot is actually working for people? Beyond just usage?
Oh man, this is the cool part. Because you're right, it's not just about how often you click the button. Microsoft is taking a really interesting approach here, focusing on something called SSR, Successful Session Rate.
Successful session rate. Okay, let me get this straight. Is that like, did the AI actually help you do the thing you wanted to do? Like, did I ask Copilot to draft an email, and it drafted an email I could actually time send?
Exactly. So basically what's happening is, instead of just saying, okay, someone opened Copilot, that counts as engagement, they're asking, did the user achieve their intended objective with this interaction? Did Copilot actually assist them in summarizing that document or drafting that email properly? It's about the time outcome, not just the click.
That makes so much more sense. It's moving beyond those kind of vanity metrics, as they're calling them, towards whether the tool is providing real value. So how do they even measure success in a session? Is there a little pop-up asking, was this helpful?
Haha, not exactly a pop-up, though that would be direct. Instead, they're apparently using a neural scoring system that analyzes the interaction logs. Think of it like an AI judging if the other AI did its job well, based on how the user responded or completed their task afterwards. They mentioned some sample pseudocode. It's analyzing things like sentiment scores within the interaction. It's a bit meta, right? AI observing AI.
Sentiment scores? So they're not just looking at the task completion, but how you felt during the interaction. Were you frustrated, or did it go smoothly? Like, did you sigh heavily at the screen 15 times?
Precisely. This is where the sentiment analysis comes in. They're using emotion detection models to see if that interaction felt positive or negative. It's like real-time feedback baked right into the metric. They analyze anonymized chat logs, use transformer networks. Sorry, I'm getting into the weeds here. But the result is, they can generate heat maps showing where people are getting frustrated, or where Copilot is really landing well. And they use that to prioritize UI/UX updates. If everyone's getting stuck trying to summarize a specific type of document, that highlights an area to improve.
Okay, wait, let me get this straight. They're essentially creating a feedback loop using AI to analyze how the AI is performing and how users feel about it. That's fascinating. But how does this play out in real usage? Are people actually using certain features more because they're working?
They are. It gets even better. Internal data shows that summarization features are the #1 most used across Teams and Viva platforms. Which, you know when you have a mile-long email thread? Or you missed a meeting and the transcript is pages long? Summarization is a lifesaver. It cuts through the noise.
Oh, absolutely. I can already hear our listeners thinking, yes, please summarize all the meetings I couldn't make and the 500 emails I got while I was in that meeting.
Right? And the data also shows that employees prefer using Copilot integrated into Teams rather than standalone chatbot sessions. Think about it this way. It's right there in your workflow. You don't have to jump to another window or app. That seamless integration seems to be a key driver of adoption. It's less friction.
That makes perfect sense. It's about reducing friction. And we're talking about this because of Mustafa Suleyman, right? The CEO of Microsoft AI. He's the one really pushing this SSR metric.
That's right. He's a big proponent of moving past vanity metrics and focusing on whether the tool is truly helping users achieve their goals. Given his background founding DeepMind and Inflection AI, his perspective on how to measure success in AI tools carries a lot of weight. He's not just about building cool tech, he's about building useful tech.
Okay, so we have this new metric, we know how they're using sentiment analysis, and we're seeing what features are popular. What do the actual numbers look like? Is Copilot considered successful by these metrics?
The statistical data they have is pretty interesting. They're seeing growth, with 54 million successful sessions per month as of Q2 2025. And internally, employee satisfaction is sitting at 76%. That suggests that not only is the tool being used effectively internally, but people generally feel good about using it. That's a decent number when you're rolling out something new.
76% satisfaction internally is a good number to work with. It shows that within their own walls, where they have more control over training and scenarios, it's resonating. But I have to ask the obvious question. With sentiment analysis, with tracking interactions, what about privacy? How do users feel about potentially being watched by an AI?
That's a critical point. And they address this. They're using differential privacy standards for all session analysis. It's a method to ensure that while they can analyze overall trends and sentiments, it's incredibly difficult, if not impossible, to trace that data back to an individual user. It adds random noise to the data, essentially scrambling it just enough to protect individual identities, while still allowing for aggregate analysis. It's designed to match GDPR requirements and other privacy regulations.
Okay, that's reassuring to hear. Using differential privacy for this level of analysis seems essential to building user trust, especially when you're analyzing something as sensitive as sentiment. But, play devil's advocate for a second, Mark. Could arguments be made that even with privacy measures, tracking sentiment is still overreaching? Like, does AI really understand the nuances of human emotion in a work context?
That's a fair point, Jenny. And it ties into a potential counterargument to this whole approach. While SSR is a step up from simple usage metrics, could we argue that a purely interaction-based metric still misses some things? For example, does SSR fully capture the effectiveness of AI tools for users with diverse skill levels or needs? Someone who is already very proficient might breeze through a task, whereas someone who is struggling might show negative sentiment, even if the tool eventually helped them.
That's interesting. So, the metric might not fully reflect the learning curve or the different ways people interact with the tool based on their prior experience or accessibility needs.
Exactly. Or another point. Could the reliance on sentiment analysis accidentally create a feedback loop where only positive experiences are highlighted? If the AI is trained to prioritize sessions that show positive sentiment, does it risk downplaying frustrating interactions that are still important for identifying areas for improvement? Are they only getting half the story?
So by focusing on the successful sessions, are they potentially overlooking the unsuccessful ones and the valuable lessons those could teach them about why users are struggling?
It's a potential risk, and it raises a broader question. How does the use of AI in evaluating AI tool performance impact transparency and trust in these metrics overall? For a lot of users, how this neural scoring system works is a black box. If we don't understand why a session was deemed successful or not, does that erode trust in the tool itself?
That's a deep point. It adds another layer of complexity. It's not just about trusting the AI to do the task, but trusting the AI that's measuring how well the first AI did the task. It's almost recursive, in a way.
Precisely. It's a brave new world of AI interacting with AI to measure human interaction with AI. It makes your head spin a bit. But while those counterarguments are valid points to consider, I think the move towards SSR and away from simple usage stats is still a significant step in the right direction. It shows they're trying to measure impact rather than just activity.
I agree. It feels like a more mature way of evaluating AI tools. It suggests a focus on user values. So to wrap this up, Microsoft is seemingly moving beyond simple adoption numbers and focusing on a more nuanced view of whether Copilot is genuinely helping people succeed in their tasks, using a blend of outcome-based metrics and sentiment analysis, all while trying to navigate the privacy considerations.
Precisely. It's a smarter way to iterate on the product. By understanding what's making sessions successful, they can prioritize features and improvements that make Copilot even more effective for users in their daily workflows. It's a fascinating look into how they're measuring the real-world impact of AI. It's not perfect, no metric ever is, but it's a move towards something more meaningful.
Definitely. It's not just about building AI, it's about building AI that actually helps, and then finding a way to measure that help. Thanks for breaking that down, Mark. It gave me a lot to think about.
Anytime, Jenny. Love talking about this stuff with you. It's kind of like helping the I learn how to be a better helper, and discussing how we even know if at times a better helper.
Haha, I do know. It adds a fun philosophical layer to it all. And on that note, we'll wrap up this episode. Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you next time.